we are going to discuss about most recently published the newer breakthrough or the newer guidelines, new trial, which is the REVIVE, revascularization for ischemic ventricular dysfunction. Now, this trial was published 27/8/2022 with the data of the 700 patients. The primary investigator was Dr. Diwakar Pareda. All investigators are basically Royal Medical College, London based. Ischemic cardiomyopathy is a term that refers to heart decreased ability to pump blood properly due to myocardial damage brought upon by ischemia. So we are including only ischemia-induced myocardial damage and ischemia-induced myocardial dysfunction. It is constitute almost 60% of all cases of the heart failure, and it is a spectrum of the sequela of the coronary disease, which is including irreversible fibrosis or the hibernation. Hibernation was a verb. It was a word coined almost 50 years ago. We have discussed hibernation in detail previously. So basically that was the word for the post-CABG patient who are gaining in myocardial function or which have improved myocardial function after revascularization. The most breakthrough trial recently, it was not most recent trial, but the STITCH trial, which has most breakthrough trial, that was the CABG plus optimal medical therapy compared to the medical therapy alone. The incidence from death from any cause, primary outcome, which was the primary outcome, at 5 years was similar between both groups. Either we are doing the CABG or either we are not doing CABG and going only for the optical medical therapy. The outcome was similar at 5 years in the STITCH trial. This was the baseline trial for the REVIVE DCIS2. What they have done in STITCH trial, they have done same thing, but with the revascularization is done with the PTC. Revascularization can be performed by the bypass artery or PTC. There is a limited evidence whether PCI in addition to the medical management is superior to medical management alone. STITCH trial, they have enrolled almost 1200 patients with ischemic cardiomyopathy and reduced EF. The incidence of death from any cause at 5 years was similar. Now, there was a little bit catch in these results. CABG group, there were more early deaths, means within first year or within the first month of the surgery, there were early deaths. But despite of these early deaths, the overall incidence is similar in 5 years. After 5 years, they have continued to analyze the result, and at the 10 years of the follow-up, there was a clear benefit in the CABG group, but that was at the 10 years. Up to 5 years, there was no significant benefit.
So that means the post-surgical deaths were high.
Exactly. Post-surgical deaths were high. There was almost nil death in the medical group.
These are high-risk patients.
Yes, these all are the high risk patients.
કયા વર્ષમાં આવ્યો તો આ સ્ટીચ વાળો?
2017.
તો આની આમાં પહેલા
So this trial after treatment assessment.
ડિટેલમાં છે.
CABG reduced the most common modes of the death. Sudden death, that was the most appropriate or the most which drastic benefit was CABG reduced the most common modes of the death. It was the sudden cardiac death was reduced, and the fatal pump failure, means severe LV dysfunction and death, was reduced in the CABG group. The protective effect of CABG occurred after the 24 months. The deaths post CABG were increased, but the fatal MI death was lower in the CABG. The post CABG deaths were increased early, but therefore decreased post CABG. Have the protective effects for sudden death and the pump failure occurred after the 20-month previous average. So in first 2 years there was no clear-cut mortality benefit, either optimal medical management or the CABG revascularization.
So the post-CABG period કેટલા મહિના?
So yes,
Deaths post CABG were increased, right? CABG કર્યાના કેટલા months પછીના dates એમાં included?
sir, I will go but initial first 6 months. So the date for actually they have analyzed first 30 months, then first 6 months, and then 2 years 5 years. So initial first 6 months death was almost 15-20%. In post CABG group, there was almost nil in the medical management group. But ultimately at 5 years, both the death or the mortality was similar. This was the list of the study which was published between 2002 and 2017, which includes the revascularization compared with the medical management. But we can see in these studies, revascularization mode, all the studies almost include the revascularization mode is the CABG. Revascularization PCI means revascularization by PCI is very less. So primary studies that were done to all include the revascularization by CABG. Revascularization PTCI and the data which required to include any guideline or to form any guideline, that was limited if the revascularization done by the PTCI. Now, the prospective trials, benefit of the revascularization in the general population with stable CAD. The first paragraph we are not including with decreased LVEF, with LV dysfunction. This is a stable CAD with normal LV function. In that group of the patient, there was a trial that was a COURAGE study, Parry 2D and the ischemia trial. COURAGE study, they have enrolled 1,300 patients. Parry, they have enrolled the 1,500 and the 5,000 patients in the ischemia trial. All these prospective trials are concluding that the similar outcomes among the ischemic patient with revascularization versus medical management. So angioplasty and the medical management both have the similar outcomes as per this trial. There were questions raised at the ischemia trial as per the analysis and the including of the group. So ischemia trial is little bit they are not conclusive outcome in the ischemia trial, but that is still debatable. But apart from this prospective trials, there are many observational studies, which all observational studies have concluded with more number of the patient that revascularization associated with reduced mortality risk as ischemia increase. So they are concluding like that if there is a more evidence of the ischemia, if the SP depression or more positive or the more segment of the myocardium involved for the ischemia, there would be more benefit with revascularization. Second, the second group of the patient with low ejection fraction. In this group, there is a stitch subsidy and the ischemia subsidy. The stitch subsidy is the part of the stitch trial in which they have specifically enrolled the low ejection fraction. It is ejection fraction less than 35%. In this ischemia subsidy, low LVEF, they have discordant trial findings. Discordant trial findings means this subsidy has another findings than the main trials. So this was isolated analysis for low ejection fraction patients. In stitch subsidy, they are telling that there will be mortality benefit, but that will be up to 10 years. Mortality benefit will at 10 years, not up to 5 years. But still, there is a symptomatic improvement is seen. So in the guideline, they are favoring the CABG or the PTC revascularization. Now, most recent 2021 guidelines for revascularization, that was ACC or ACC. Yes.
These trials, they have selected patient for revascularization based on perfusion study. Perfusion study ઉપર બધા selection criteria.
Speech trial they haven't done perfusion study, but in revive trial they have done perfusion study.
Based on it, they have decided to vascularize or not.
Yes, revive trial was we are going to discuss in detail. They have done too much in detail. Now, in the 2021 guidelines for revascularization, there is a recommendation. If there is a left ventricular dysfunction and multivessel coronary artery disease in the patient with stable IHD and multivessel CAD, appropriate CABG with severe LV EF is less than 35, CABG is recommended to improve survival. This is the class 1 recommendation. We are going to discuss basis of this recommendation also. Now, the class 2A recommendation is if the patient with stable IST, multivessel CAD and ejection fraction is 35 to 50, CABG is reasonable to improve survival. So if EF is less than 30%, CABG is class 1 recommendation, and if EF is in the moderate 35 to 50, the level of recommendation is 2A.
Whether both the groups were underwent FFR study before doing.
So they are not considering at present
So
FFR.
once the FFR is included, I think this guideline will change.
Actually, sir, they are
It
considering.
is because this is on the observational study, not on FFR guided whether it is multivessel disease. Even in a multivessel disease, you will find only one
This
disease.
is guidelines, so this is based on multiple studies. This is, I think, ACCHA guidelines.
ACC, yes, sir, ACC.
So my point is, if FFR is included in some kind of patient, again the guideline will change.
It will change. It will change. It will change. There is one more trial in ESC also, with similar trial, which is based on FFR. What should be the FFR value? What should be the MRI value? That is one another trial. And
Sir,
maybe depending on that.
Same
But that trial clearly so there is no added advantage of
Actually,
it.
There is no idea.
Last year the ITS, it was
Same
they said
thing.
FFR was not meant to be
Fame 3
there.
CABG with means FFR required. That is, they have compared FFR.
Yes.
That was a Fame 3 trial. In that, they have considered the CABG is superior than FFR guided classifier.
Yes. And FFR you will consider for stable wala IHD or acute coronary?
FFR will be stable.
As of now, stable. For STEMI, the aspiration MI, the role is still.
So what do you think? FFR will help more in stable or your perfusion study will more help in stable?
Perfusion.
Perfusion.
Of course,
study,
FFR has no role.
Definitely, sir, perfusion study. And actually, sir, you are quite right. That was the lacuna in these guidelines that we are going to discuss. Because in this guideline, they haven't included the severity of the stenosis. The stenosis severity, they have included just multivessel PTCA, but the severity of the stenosis, they haven't mentioned anything about the severity of the stenosis.
That should be there. Detail માં હશે આખું વાંચે.
Actually, sir, detail માં એ લોકોએ એક આવું છું સર આગળ સ્લાઇડ એના પર જ છે. Limited benefit so discuss કરીએ આપણે. Revascularization to reduce cardiovascular events. There is a two difference. Recommendation for revascularization to improve survival and revascularization to reduce cardiovascular event. That is two completely different as per the recent trials.
So you want cardiovascular event reduction or survival? What do you want in your patient?
Exactly, sir.
You want both?
Actually, we want
You
yes.
want both, right? Okay. એટલે હવે કોઈ આગળ.
નોન ઇન્ફિરિયર અને સુપિરિયર જેવું છે આપણું.
So the level recommendation class is 2A in patient with stable IST with multivessel CAD appropriate for either CABG or PCI. Revascularization reasonable to lower risk of the cardiovascular event. So here the appropriate word is what you have said, sir. So to reduce the risk of the cardiovascular events such as spontaneous MI, unplanned urgent revascularization or the cardiac deaths.
Appropriate means so many things. Patient selection criteria for this or that, not only FFR. It is a too
It is
many
not
things,
only FFR, there are multiple things. That's why.
right?
આપણે સર સાદી પસંદ કરીએ
આખા પૈસા એ appropriate ઉપર જ છે.
So 2021 guidelines for revascularization. Now the basis of this
ના તો survival માં શું હતું? Same હતું?
sorry
Survival વાળી slide માં બી same હતું?
ના survival વાળી slide માં આમાં difference is that આની અંદર they are not considering EF.
એપ્રોપ્રિએટ શબ્દનો તો
અચ્છા એટલે આ તારી ખાલી ischemic heart disease ની guideline છે. Ischemic cardiomyopathy ની નહીં.
Both guidelines are same. What the difference is, in first vessel, in the first guideline they are saying LV dysfunction and CAD. if there is a LV dysfunction, whatever procedure you are doing, that will improve survival.
So this is for today's topic. પહેલું તો જે છે એ આપણે બહુ બધી વાર ડિસ્કસ કર્યું.
Now, the basis of this guideline is the strongest evidence for this guideline is stitch trial. In this, they have randomized the patient with LVEF less than 35 to either CABG with medical therapy or medical therapy alone. Although this trial didn't show any survival benefit at 5 years, but subsequent report from this trial evaluated long-term follow-up. 10 years reported the survival benefit of the CABG compared with the medical therapy alone. So as per the 10 years data of stitch trial, they have included in guidelines that CABG is preferable if there is a LVEF is less than 35%. Now,
In this medical management, sacubitril valsartan was a part of standard
Yes.
of care.
It was not in all patients. Because
Not
this
in all
trial,
patients.
when this trial started, sacubitril valsartan was not there. Even this SGLT2 inhibitors were not at all in any patients. Even same thing is true with revive trial also that we'll discuss.
Revive નો enrollment ક્યારે ચાલુ છે?
they have revised that every 6 months.
They have revised, but when it was started in some
And
trials, 13,
See, you know, every trial, every 6 months FDA audit થતું જ હોય. બરોબર છે, પણ if sacubitril valsartan was not there, તો તમે medical management ઉપર બહુ conclusive remark ના મૂકી શકો. Because એના પોતથી તારા આ પેશન્ટમાં બહુ બધા ચેન્જ આવી.
Revive included here. They have in initial first group of the patient they have sacubitril valsartan was not included, but after 2020 they have included that.
તો revive ક્યારે ચાલુ છે તારો trial
That
enrollment?
was in 30
English side में चालू था.
There are insufficient data to make recommendation for using PCI in this patient population. That's why they haven't included PTCA in this guidelines. Now, that lacuna is addressed by this revive trial. The principal hypothesis was PCI in combination with optical medical therapy will improve the event-free survival in patients with ischemic cardiomyopathy and viable myocardium compared with the viable. Yes,
Why?
viable. Secondary hypothesis is PCI will improve LV systolic dysfunction in this cohort compared with optical medical therapy. So the first is we are improving survival. Second one hypothesis is we are improving the LV systolic dysfunction. If there is a hypertrophic myocardium with revascularization, that must be increase in the LV systolic dysfunction. The outcome, the primary outcome is composite endpoint of the all-cause death. The secondary outcome is LVEF assessed by the echocardiography at 6 and 12 months. Other outcomes are multiple: the cardiovascular death, all-cause death, then hospitalization due to AHF, acute MI, urgent revascularization, NYHS classes, Canadian Cardiovascular Society classes, health resource use, and the severe drop of T or I levels, anti-BNP levels. Now, the inclusion criteria for this study: EF less than 35. They have initially considered EF less than 30% in 2013-14, but after that they have revised EF less than 35. Extensive coronary artery disease demonstrate viability in the list 4 dysfunctional myocardial segment out of 17 segments as per the report.
How this EF they checking trial is 2D, 3D or angiogram or
Now, LVEF is accessed by biplane Simpson rule, 3D echocardiography or by MRI. They have individual means which center is enrolled in the study. They are taking only slides or they are taking only videos of the echo, MRI, and the EF is accessed by the central laboratory. Means whoever is taking EF or who is doing echo, they are not calculating EF.
radial observer slides.
Yes. There has been the recent clinical diagnosis of MI. The imaging studies performed at least 4 weeks after MI. So if the patient has developed MI before randomization, 4 weeks after MI, and if after randomization patient is developed MI, then they are considering after 4 weeks or the remove him from the study.
But 4 weeks after MI, if your EF is less than 35, you will consider it is ischemic cardiomyopathy, or you will allow it to little recover further.
So if EF is less than, in this study, they have considered it as a ischemic cardiomyopathy, if even after 4 weeks of time.
Just 4 weeks. Wow, aggressive.
But the main criteria is patient should not be revascularized before enrollment. Now, the extensive coronary artery disease defined as the they have considered the score, for identify or the quantify the coronary artery
It
disease.
means they also have patient of MI. They are not revascularized for 4 weeks.
Yes. Now, extensive coronary artery disease is defined as the British Cardiovascular Intervention Society myocardial geocarditis score BCIS-JS for at least 6. The total score is 12. If patient has at least score of the 6, then he or she was enrolled in this study.
CT guided or angio guided?
Angio guided score. Actually, I have included score also, how they are calculating it. The myocardial viability is characterized using AH's 17 segment model, which can be assessed using any recognized modality including MRI, DSE, SPAT or the PET. This is the score. In this segment we are saying they have identified each lesion. If there is a left main lesion, if more than 50% in the first column, if left main stenosis more than 50%, the score is 8, and then you are calculate further score.
Is this conventional angio reports? Conventional angio.
Yes,
The
this
risk
one is
is
the
in.
conventional.
It's a risky thing.
This one is the conventional angio. But what is the better thing is they have accessed the revascularization based on the revascularization index. Means they are calculating this score before the revascularization and after revascularization, and then they are calculating the index. So we are getting the quality of the revascularization also. Now the exclusion criteria. MI within 4 weeks of the randomization. Then acutely decompensated heart failure requiring treatment with inaudible ventilation, mechanical circulatory support within 72 hours of the randomization. The sustained ventricular tachycardia or fibrillation or appropriate ICD discharges within 72 hours of the randomization. Valve disease deemed by the local heart team to require immediate interventions. Age less than 18 years, renal disease, GFR less than 25, pregnancy, and the previous enrollment in this trial, and life expectancy less than 1 year due to any non-cardiac pathogen. Now, trial design. It is a prospective randomized control trial, 30 to 35 centers in the UK, and the randomization with 1:1 allocation between the PCI and the OMT arms. Now, the total 700 patients were enrolled, EF less than 35%, with extensive CAD, with the BCIS-JS score was more than 6. The viability study has done more than 4 segments that can be revascularized. Means if there is a segment that couldn't be revascularized, that won't be counted. So more than 4 segments that can be revascularized by PCI, then we are randomizing the patient. One arm is the optical medical therapy and the second arm is the PCI plus optical medical therapy. The minimum follow-up they have considered is the 2 years. Timeline of this trial started in September 13-14, then patient follow-up. Recruitment ends at the March 20, follow-up ends in the March 22, and publication of the result which was done just last year. Now, the study protocol, how they have accessed everything. So first, suitability of the patient, basis of EF, as per the result of recent echocardiography or MRI, baseline 6-month and 12-month echocardiograms will be analyzed and submitted to the independent echocardiography core laboratory. Now, PCI intervention arm, PCI will be performed as per the local protocols. DAPT given in all cases with preloading and post PCI duration based on the patient risk of the bleeding as per the guideline of care. Now the drug-eluting stents are recommended, but if the patient have indication for any long-term formal anticoagulation, in that case another stent could be considered. Now, completeness of the revascularization. PCI attempted in all significant coronary lesions in major proximal coronary vessels or side branch both and 2.5. So they have attempted revascularization in any vessel more than 2.5 with subtending viable myocardium.
Have they used IVAS, FFR or OCT? Nothing? Oh.
They are considering only one thing: if there is a subtendable viable myocardium, then we are going to revascularize. But actually OCT IVAS is not much important in this, because in that score they are considering the amount of the stenosis, 50%, 70%. If there is a less chance, then the score will be less. Now the lesion significance is defined as more than 70% in diameter stenosis on angiography, or for lesion between 50 to 70% in diameter when accompanied by demonstrable reversible ischemia or invasive or non-invasive testing. So if there is a reversible ischemia during the perfusion study,
So where there is more than 70% diameter stenosis and
Yeah,
there is no reversible ischemia, then also they opened it.
sir, actually if there is a viable myocardium after that 70% stenosis, they are going to open.
So the line suggests something else.
No, actually for 50 to 70 they are considering reversible ischemia.
So
For
more than
more than 70
70,
they are not considering
that
any.
is the point. So even if the territory which it supplies looks absolutely fine, but just because it is more than 70, they done it. Opened it.
Yes.
No, before deciding to go ahead with PCI, the first and foremost step is MRI did show viable myocardium in the territory. Then only they will attempt PCI. This is the
अलग बोले
criteria only to define whether the PCI was done completely or not. So what was defined as a complete revascularization, that is this. But before this, there has to be viability to go ahead with PCI.
Viability must be done before
The
this.
viability is according to segment.
MRI.
Yes.
MRI.
Segments may not be supplied by a territory which is more than 70% block.
Yes,
There
yes.
they have considered such a significant blockage.
No, then if that
Yes.
suppose LLE is 70% or 80% stenosis, then it did not show any viability. Don't stand, because that patient will not come under PCI.
I think with this sentence suggests that there is no, if the obstruction is more than 70%, they haven't care of viability. That is what this statement
No,
is.
no, no, actually
That viability of that
Yes,
segment.
that
only.
sentence
Viability of
will
the
be strong. But your MRI was first, define viability, then go ahead with
No,
this.
no, no, no. See, I agree your point, but આ statement એવું કહે છે કે 70% વાળી ટેરિટરીમાં એ લોકોએ viability નથી જોઈ. કરી જ નાખ્યું.
ના એવું નથી સર, viability બધામાં
તો
જોઈ
હમણાં
છે.
તું ઈ જ બોલ્યો હમણાં.
ના ના એક જ મિનિટ સર. For revascular assessment કઈ રીતે કર્યું છે, that is the different thing. But they are first means what they are proceeding. First they are doing the echo. After the,
ઉપર હું તને એક સિમ્પલ પ્રશ્ન પૂછું. હવે તે MRI કર્યો, viability જોઈ, LCX અને RCA માં તને 4 થી વધારે viable સેગમેન્ટ મળી ગયા. બરોબર? હવે એની LED બી 80% બ્લોક છે, તો એ LED ખોલી કે નહીં?
નહીં ખોલવાની. Viability ના હોય
નથી ખોલી પાકું?
પાકું.
મને મોકલજે ડિટેલ આ.
આખી detail છે સર.
Okay.
Actually they are saying that if there is a
That data is yet to come, that data is not yet published.
Because see, if this is considering that a significant, that they must not have
Yes.
seen the
Coronary
viability of
data
that.
is yet to come, and that will come in quarter 3 of 2023. So maybe next year.
sir, actually 2018 ની અંદર when they have approved this protocol, in that protocol in JSCC they are completely stating that if there is a no viability, they are not going to open.
Not going to do this, right?
In that protocol they have said that if there is a no viability in this particular segment,
અરે દોસ્ત, no viability side ની વાત છે. Normal segment છે ને 70% block છે, એવું બી તો બને ને?
so they are going to open that.
So that is the point. If
Yeah,
normal
but-
segment, the obstruction is 70 or more, they have opened. That is
Yes,
the
yes.
point.
Yes, yes.
That is
Yes,
the
if
point.
If it is
Point
viable,
is-
open it.
If it is viable, they open. Now if lesion significance, this 70% diameter is significant lesion. So what they are doing is they are coordinating this coordinating with the viable segment and the significant lesions. After that, they are deciding which lesion should be assessed or which lesion should be addressed. And after deciding everything, plan of the PTCA, they are going to do PTCA as per their protocol.
Excuse me. Yeah, but need to discuss.
Patient who meet inclusion criteria have CTO of the chronic total occlusion of the coronary arteries subtending viable myocardiums should be considered for revival. If there is a CTO and viable myocardium, that should be revived, provided that PCI operators predict a high likelihood of the reopening this vessel successfully. Coronary disease burden at baseline and the completeness of the final revascularization will be characterized by PCI's JS and revascularization index. Stage PCI, most probably they have preferred the single stage strategy, but if there is a significant patient related problem with renal dysfunction, complex disease including CTO, then they are going to consider as a stage PCI. Now, the staging must be pre-specified at the index procedure. Urgent revascularization before the plan or second stage procedure will be considered a secondary endpoint.
Very important.
So means that was IOTEL. They are doing MRI, they are doing angio. After that, they are specifying the lesion. After the calculating every coronary scores and everything, and they are planning that. But if there is anything goes unplanned or urgent revascularization needed, they are considered as a secondary. Optical medical therapy in both arms, standard procedure, including the heart failure therapy such as ACE, ARB, plus ARNI, beta blocker, mineralocorticoid antagonist, and secondary prevention for atherosclerosis, including statin, antiplatelet. They have also included formal anticoagulation for LV thrombus, and they have also included this ICD implantation for the patient having, if there is a as per guideline, it comes in the ICD implantation. Statistical analysis. The unadjusted time to event analysis was done. Cox proportional hazards model was used, and the results were compared at the 2 years, which is including the cumulative event rates and the capital period time to event curves. Now the characteristics of this patient enrolled. Here, what they have done is they have tried to balance everything. So average age in both arms is almost 70. Male female ratio is almost equal. Now the hypertension. In the PCI, there was hypertension is 184 patient and the optical medical therapy in 207. Diabetes in 136 versus 153 patients. Smoking and everything. They are trying to adjust. Angina, EF average LVEF for PCI was 27%. Then the Geoperides score, average BCS or the coronary artery disease score is average was 10 if patient undergoing the PCA. And the 50 patient out of the total PCA undergoing patient, they have the left main disease. 133 has the triple vessel disease, and the two vessel disease is 178. Now, the primary outcome, death from any cause or hospitalization for heart failure. It was seen in 129 patient out of 347, which contains 37% in PCI arm, and 134 out of 353 patient, which is 38% in optical medical therapy. The p-value here is non-significant. Almost the hazard ratio is 99. Now, death from any cause, they have also concluded the hospitalization for heart failure almost equal in both arms. Death from cardiovascular causes, which is slightly lower, 76 in PCI arm and 88 in optical medical therapy. Myocardial infarction, if there is a Perry procedure, there was 14 patients. Spontaneous MI, that here the significant different terms. the spontaneous MI was less in PCI arm versus the optical medical therapy. Sudden death was more or less equal. Unplanned revascularization more in optical medical therapy, it was less in PCI. Major bleeding was more in PCI. Now, as per 99 hazard ratio 0.99, at 2 years the survival is almost equal in both arms. Now, so which favors what? If EF is less than 29%, PCI is more favored with lower risk, and EF is more than 29%, optical medical therapy is favored. In diabetes, optical medical therapy is slightest margin of more improved outcome. If worsening NYHA functional class, optical medical therapy, and both are somewhat equal. If there is a left main disease, they are saying that optical medical therapy is better. Now, EF estimates. Mean EF with optical medical therapy at 6 months is better than PCI. Then at 12 months, EF is better in PCI. At 6 months, it is better in medical therapy. At 12 months, it is better in PCI.
આ તો બીજો કરે તો આ તો એટલું જ થઈ જાય 3%
Remain more or less same.
So, result
નીચે નીચેનો ગ્રાફ શું પર ASSQ વાળો
ASSQ is that is the overall summary score that includes the quality of life index, then angina class, and all over patient
Now
satisfaction.
what is the full form of KCCQ?
Sir, I have consulted.
It's Kansas City Cardiac
Kansas City
Association. Okay, so it is better in medical.
Yes.
Okay.
It is better in PCI group at
Actually,
the end of 6 and 12 months, but as the time passes, it is more or less same at the end of 2 years.
means PCI giving improving quality of life for early years, means for 6 months to 1 year.
આ નીચેના ચાર્ટની p વેલ્યુ ક્યાં છે?
Yes, yes. We are more worried about quality of life.
Now, result 700 patients were randomized. Average EF was 27%. Median follow-up was 41 months. The composite outcome for PCI has a primary endpoint at 37% and optical medical therapy is 38. Hazard ratio 0.91. As also no difference in the individual components of the composite outcome. Now, the LVEF at 6 months is almost similar. Mean difference is -1.6. LVEF at 12 months almost similar. Mean difference 0.9%. The quality of life scores at 6 months and 12 months appeared to favor the PCI group, but the difference was diminished at 24 months. Strength of this analysis was group were fairly balanced, almost no loss of the follow with 99.1% enrolled patient, and it was the blinded fashion, means EF was accessed by blinded fashion. Limitations. The most patient in the trial had little or no angina at the enrollment. Second, greater than 90% patient was Caucasian, means it was all British. Some baseline difference favored in the PCI group, and the primary outcome was a composite. It is not a hospitalization versus death. They have included both. There was early benefit of the PCI. That was the only significantly, but one second point is more considering is peri-procedural PCI is 37.8% versus optical medical there was 0, and the spontaneous events were PCI is 48% versus optical 86%. So there was more chances of spontaneous MI with the optical medical therapy. Now the clinical take-home points.
Another important limitation in India. What is the cost of multi-vessel PCI?
Sir, mark card free. Mark card free.
Just the But Marka
શું કેવી રીતે બધા નવા બહાર આવે છે શીખે કેવી રીતે માં કાઢે
That is also
તું જાય ત્યારે હમણાં તારા ગામમાં ત્યાં તું માં કાઢે જ પેલા કહીશ
અરે જઈશ તે પછીની વાત છે, પહેલા માકા ચાલે કે નહીં પહેલા પૂછીશ.
But Marka does not allow this confusing image.
હા.
So that is the issue of this trial.
એ તો આપણે તો ટેવાયેલા છીએ ને પરફેક્શન ઇમેજિંગ વગેરે જ કરી કાઢીએ.
Now, the addition of the PCA to medical therapy did not lower the incidence of the death from any cause of hospitalization for heart failure. Improvement of the LVEF, which was expected prior to the trial, or sustained difference in the quality of life at median 3.4 years. So, which we were thinking that hypernatremic myocardium should be worked after the revascularization, after the PCA. That is no improvement in the LVEF. The quality of life is improvement. The angina score will be decreasing. But all over outcome, death and survival, there is no specific